here. Just let me open this thing up real quick. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So, what is a creative life? Well, I think that Joe just read it, and so I'm done with my talk. It's coming through us. We're born children of God. That's it. End of story. Amen. Good. Now I can go. So, full disclosure, I'm shocked that I'm here today, that I'm standing in front of you. And I'm going to read to you a little exchange that I had with Karen several weeks ago that brought me to the platform. So I'm just going to read this. It's just going to take a minute or so. So she wrote to me, "Hello, dear Marsha. I know I've asked you many times before, and here it comes again. Would you please give another talk at the center? I certainly would love that, and so would Verna." This is important. And then I answered her immediately. "Hi, Karen. Thanks for not giving up on me. I appreciate your invitation, and I do hope to feel ready to speak at the center sometime soon. But I am presently unable to schedule a talk. I'm hesitant because my memory's not been that great, and I don't feel like speech flows through me very easily these days. I'm working on it. It would be my pleasure to speak sometime in the future. I'll keep you posted. It definitely won't be this summer. I hope to be ready in the fall. Thanks again for asking. Much love. P.S. Maybe I'll give a talk on aging. LOL." And she responded, "Good evening, dear Marsha. I pray that you will be ready to speak for us soon in fall. This would be so awesome, but I do understand. I spent today at the center doing some office work and preparing for Verna's art show. I will send you a flyer soon. There will be a reception on August 24th at 12:15. It would be so wonderful if you and Paul could come. Sending much love to both of you from Karin Hart." And as I read her text, I got this sudden but clear nudge from the universe, but I think it was from Verna, tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Why don't you speak on that day?" And so I just, without even thinking, I sent her back a response. "If you like, I'll be the speaker that day." Since Paul and I will be there for the art show and I have 3 weeks to prepare, I'm moved to volunteer to speak on the 24th to honor Verna. Let me know. And she wrote back, "Oh wow, thank you so much, dear Marsha. We're so looking forward to that. We're so blessed. Verna would absolutely love that." So he had so much to do with my being here, and he's on the other side, and yet his influence is what actually brought me here. So it happened, it happened that I said yes, and today I say yes and thank you to him for just being the encouragement. For me to be willing to come here, I'm talking about what's a creative life, and I'm like too scared to talk because my memory's not that great. So here I am. That's the disclosure. Now, I brought this. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a little piece of art that Verna gave me years ago. It's a rock, a little stick, and a dead piece of a flower from the desert tied up in a string. I love this. I have kept it for years. It's on my mantle. And what is it? It's just a little bit of this and that has no value in and of itself, but together in this combination, it's so alive and beautiful and wonderful, and it means so much to me. And so I just wanted to show this as an example of what is in all of us as we combine the moments of our life to create a work of art. And so each of you is an incredible work of art, and that is what this talk is about. The unique expression that comes together in one little creation is so powerful, and it can change so many things. Like when Verna gave this to me, he didn't know that this would be the centerpiece of a talk about him on a day that he's being acknowledged. You know, who knew? But here it is, here he is, alive and well in this. And that's the truth for each of us, that every action that we take, every breath that we take, means something to the planet. So it's kind of obvious with physical art, you know, there's the physical art. We can see somebody actually created that. But we're talking today also about the physical art, but also just about the art that we create from every thought that we have, from every action that we take. And there's no judgment, there's no good expression or bad expression. It's all perfect, exactly the way it needs to be, because we're able to self-correct. So if something happens and it doesn't feel right, there's something in us that guides us to make the adjustment, like an inner chiropractor. And we just make the adjustment and we keep walking, we keep moving, and we take the next step. So there's no good or bad judgment. An example is, like I could be dicing onions, let's say I'm preparing dinner and I'm dicing onions, and I could be having all kinds of thoughts. I could be thinking about the state of the world, which we know could be quite a bunch of thoughts. I could be contemplating some relationship that I had an argument with, somebody that maybe I wasn't getting along with, and just thinking about that or how to correct that. Or I could be singing at the top of my lungs to a sad song, dicing the onions and using the onions as an excuse to cry. And also, I could be dicing the onions and, you know, like just breathing love into the experience and having a perfect, mindful, high consciousness experience of dicing onions. And you might think that the best choice would be the mindful choice, but what I'm saying is that on a particular moment, if I need to have a good cry, that is the perfect choice. And that is the most creative choice. And that is going to make a difference on the planet in a way that on that particular day, the conscious dicing of onions wouldn't be as powerful as that. And just knowing that is as powerful and as meaningful as a work of art. It's the work of art that we are just expressing itself in that moment. And if you think for a moment about all the things that you have been through in this lifetime so far, it's amazing that we're still standing, right? But if you just think about the complexity of our lives, all the things that we have gone through, like the hard times, the things that we never thought we could get through, and here we are, we got through them. And the exciting times when some new idea came to us, and we started researching something, or just gallivanting somewhere just because we had some good idea. It's all pretty incredible. And then if you take the complexity of our life and multiply it by all the people whose lives you touch, and just think about that. It's just like, you know, Werner here touching these lives today. Who knew? It's the same thing with every action that we take. And then if you multiply that by all the people whose lives touch the people whose lives you touch, and you just keep multiplying it, you know, that's how we know that our lives are so meaningful. And that as we create, every step that we take, we are impacting the whole planet. That's pretty powerful. So what it means to be human is to create. What it means to be creative is to be human. And how do you recognize a creative life? You look in the mirror. Hi. It's you. You're the creative one. So now I'm going to ask my husband Paul. Hey, Paul, over there. He's going to assist me. I'm a rock person, and I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I love this so much. And so I brought some rocks today, and that he's going to pass around. And I'm going to ask each of you to select, and we have so many that you can take 2, 3, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to ask you to select something from there. And they're mostly rocks, but I thought in case anybody has an aversion to rocks, there are a few other things you can choose from. And kind of this would be the time to play the song. So we're going to play a song that my sister wrote and sings, just as background music while we're doing this little thing together. And the reason I chose this song is because my sister, this is her, she wrote the song, she's singing this song, and she's my little sister. She's 10 years younger than I am, and so when I was 19 and she was 9, I taught her a few chords on the guitar, and I let her use my guitar, and she became a musician. And I'm so proud of her, but I was the one who gave her the guitar to use and taught her the chords. So that counts. Everything counts. We don't know how our actions are going to influence the planet. And I'm really talking about the planet, that we reverberate so far out and we don't even realize how powerful and influential we are. So just be with your rock, or whatever it is that you selected, and then you can pass them around again, you can take more, but just whatever the one that you selected first, the one that you chose, that was a creative act. You chose it. That's the whole point of this. You chose it. Out of all of the possibilities, you chose that rock. And now, just be with the rock and create a little bit of a relationship with the rock. You know, did you choose a smooth one? Did you choose a rough one? Is it interesting that it had a crack in the middle? Or, you know, whatever it was that drew you to that rock, just be with it. And as you're being with it, just see if it comes up for you to infuse it with a quality. You can infuse it with love. This seems to be a little bit of a theme today. You can infuse it with love, with peace, with joy, with a quality that you're working on in your life, whatever. And just be with it. Hang out with it. Get to know it, and let it get to know you. It's getting to know you at the same time that you're getting to know it. Yeah. And then you'll see whatever it is that you decide to do with it, that will also be a creative act. So when you leave here, you might take a rock and throw it on the ground, discard it. What was that silly thing she had us do? I don't need this rock. And as you let go of it, what are you doing? It's a creative act. You're releasing something that no longer serves you, and you're creating space for something else. You may put it in your pocket and say, oh, I'm going to hold on to this, and every time I touch it, I think of love, or whatever. You may put it on your altar, or you may turn it into something. Who knows? But the whole point is that whatever it is that you choose to do with it, it's a creative act. And if you discard it, and you just throw it back in the desert, guess what? It may meet its love mate in the desert. It may land next to the perfect rock that it's been looking for its whole life. And that will be a creative act. So we can, this is a nice song, by the way. I know I talked over it, but it's really a very sweet, special song. So, what do you think? You a creative person?
Yeah.
Yes.
You get that you're powerful and that every act counts?
Yes.
Yep.
Just a few of you, huh? Come on.
Maybe ask one more time.
Okay. Who here? I'm going to ask you to raise your hand at the school, okay? So, who really is feeling the power of your own creativity? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
That's better. All right. Anybody want to say that they're not? Raise your hand. It's okay. Okay. Well, we've got a few. All right. That is a creative act. That in itself, like just being the truth of who you are, not trying to fake it. You don't have to be like everybody else. In this moment, I'm not feeling like I'm a creative person. Fine, because you know what? There's the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, and every moment is made new. And who's to say that thinking that you're creative is the most important thing that you have to do? It isn't. Because I'm saying you are creative even if you don't think you're creative. So that's that. So there are no mistakes, there are no accidents, there are no throwaways. Every person counts. And just like in art, you know, you take the first stroke and then that leads to the second stroke and the third stroke, or you make music, you play the first note, you play the second note, you have a phrase, and you start creating. And that's what our life is. We wake up in the morning, we take the first step, we take the second step, and we are creating our day. And that day is going to influence so many people that we come in contact with. Even if you're walking at Home Depot and you just brush by somebody, your vibration is sending something out that's creating something. It's creating some kind of interaction, and it all counts. So we don't need to copy anybody. There's enough creativity to go around. We are depriving the universe when we just don't express ourselves. And so I'm giving myself a little credit for showing up today because I'm just thinking about this now, probably this talk came out of my own feeling of not being good enough when I wanted to say no. And so we thank Verna again for helping me to say yes. So the last thing I want to say is just like if you think about affirmative prayer, the first two steps of affirmative prayer to me are really the basic of what that prayer is. And so the first step is God is everywhere, God is everything, God is in everything. And if you take that, then if God is everywhere, then God absolutely must be right where I am. And so there's no debate about it. It's just, that's the logic of it. That's the science of mind. God is, I am. That's the prayer. And then we just fill in the blanks with what we want prayer for. Thank you, amen. But if you just walk around thinking, God is, I am, God is, I am, God is, I am, that's prayer without ceasing. As you show up in life as the image and likeness of God, as a beautiful emanation of the Most High. And what could be more creative than that? So claim yourself as a precious work of art. Be the best you can be. Shine your light. And as we celebrate Verna today, we can use this event as an opportunity to feel into the true nature of originality, because we know that guy was one original, right? And as we feel our connectedness with his creativity, with his version of creativity, we get to acknowledge our own. Thank you.